To you and welcome. It's Monday, 9th December 2024. Mental health is real. Seek help. End the stigma. On the news this evening, Rivers Police warn residents against night travel along Elele Omerelu Isiokpo Elele roads. Today is Anti-Corruption Day. Court grants human rights lawyer bail in defamation case. Rivers residents express frustration at soaring food prices 2 weeks to Christmas. On the foreign scene, crowds gather at notorious Damascus prison as Syrians search for missing inmates. I am Constance Irele Mega. We'll go on a quick break. Staying with us, and now the news in detail. The Rivers State Police Command has advised residents and motorists to avoid traveling on the Elele Omerelu and Isiokpo Elele roads in Ikwere local government area at midnight. Commissioner of Police Muhammad Mustafa, in an interview, said the command has intensified security along the routes to address rising security concerns. Now, he said the command has held meetings with local vigilante groups in the area to find lasting solutions to the security challenges.
In collaboration with OSPAC, as well as the effective deployment we have carried out now, I'm assuring you that road from airport runabout Omogwa to Ishopo to Ilele, from Ilele till you reach boundary with Imo, or from Ilele to Omog, Ilele Elimini. By the grace of God, all those access we have notified them. We want to ensure that the roads are safer for road users. We only advise the road users to restrict their movement. Anything after midnight is very risky to travel. We are calling on general public to reduce their movement in the night.
Now, CP Mustafa also said during the meeting that it was discovered that the criminal activities were being carried out by some former members of local vigilante groups. Now, he added that the vigilantes have pledged to work with the police to identify and arrest the culprits.
They had meeting with OSPAC. Despite their problems within themselves, it was through OSPAC we were able to know that, yes, some of these bad boys, as you rightly of are taking advantage. If the policemen abandon that, well, they will now come and take over them to kidnap. Those who have fall out from the same organization, who are criminal elements within that association, were alleged to be the people committing that harm. So they said they will help us to push them out.
Now, recall that in 2016, persistent kidnappings along the Elele Isiokpo and Elele Omerelu roads led to the establishment of multiple police checkpoints on those routes. But recently, criminal activities have resurfaced on that route. Now, moving on, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has pledged that the state government will extend its support beyond communities to include institutions across the state. The governor made this commitment during the inauguration of 2 reconstructed blocks of 12 flats at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Port Harcourt. Now, he said it's important to provide a comfortable environment for Air Force officers to carry out their operations effectively.
To tell Nigeria that we're not limiting our support to our primary assignment only to the communities or the LGAs, but we also extend our support to other institutions who also help in making Rivers State whole and safe. When they are comfortable they will perform effectively. These are men who are always flying to ensure that those national treasures are secured.
Now, the Chief of Air Staff, Hassan Abubakar, thanked the state government for the new bedroom flats for Air Force officers.
Your Excellency, on behalf of the officers, airmen, and airwomen of the Nigerian Air Force, I extend our heartfelt appreciation to you and the good people of Rivers State for this thoughtful and impactful initiative. This project is not only a demonstration of your commitment to the welfare of our personnel, but also a testament to the strong partnership between Rivers State government of our personnel. It will no doubt boost morale, but also promote civil-military cooperation and contribute to the operational effectiveness of the Nigerian Air Force.
Away from that, as the world marks Anti-Corruption Day today, some Rivers residents have pledged to join the fight against corruption by reporting individuals who defraud others. In an interview with our correspondent, the residents said fighting corruption is not only the responsibility of the government.
We have people defrauding themselves, which is not right. If I see someone who is trying to defraud another person, I'll make it known to the other person, and I'll also try to report the case to the security agencies so that they will also take actions.
Fighting corruption is not only the role of the government. We are at the grassroots level, so we suffer most of it. When I go to the market, maybe you want to buy something, you get cheated, and then when you take it back, they won't take it. Why? Because there's no integrity.
Policemen demanding money from road travelers, most times aggressively. I can help by me paying my tax as at when due, because that's where the armed forces get paid.
In the meantime, a human rights advocate, Courage Nserimovu, says Nigeria is more inclined to corrupt practices because the political class encouraged it in the governance system. Now, he spoke with correspondent Subi Uruwari while examining Nigeria's corruption index.
Nigeria has not been able to stem any tide of corruption. Nigeria is getting more and more corrupt by the day. People are thinking of how to cut away with public funds. That's the order of the day. It just seems as though politics is now the business in Nigeria instead of industry. And what do people go there to do? They go there to steal what belongs to the public. There is need for us to insist on accountability from public office holders. EFCC is selective in its pursuit for.
Well, the lawyer, however, blames the judiciary and the police for the increased unsettled corruption cases.
Even the judiciary is not safe from the corruption. The police is not safe. So people steal public funds, use it to influence other agencies of government, including the judiciary that should be independent. So Nigeria has not, stemmed corruption. So given that today is World Anti-Corruption Day, the government of Nigeria must look at the mirror. And when they look at the mirror, what they see is corruption. It's a reflection of who they are.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has urged Nigerian youths to unite in the fight against corruption. Mr. Olukoyede spoke at a town hall meeting organized by the Anti-Graft Agency in commemoration of this year's World Anti-Corruption Day in Ilorin, Kwara State. Now, he said corruption makes youths vulnerable to fraudulent practices and all hands must be on deck to tackle the menace more fiercely. Now, the theme for this year's Anti-Corruption Day is Uniting with Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity. Elsewhere, human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi has been granted a 50 million naira bail by an Ekiti State Magistrate Court in a defamation case filed against him by legal expert Afe Babalola. Now, the court's decision was announced by rights activist and publisher for Sahara Reporters Omoyele Sowore on his X handle today. Well, he stated that Mr. Farotimi was granted a bail with a surety in the same amount who must provide landed property as collateral. Now, the case has been adjourned to 29th January 2025. Well, recall that Mr. Farotimi was arraigned on 4th December for publishing a book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, where he alleged that Afe Babalola corrupted the judiciary and procured judgments in the Supreme Court. Now, Mr. Farotimi pleaded not guilty to all the 16 count charges and was then remanded in prison custody. Still to come, Rivers residents express frustration at soaring food prices 2 weeks to Christmas. Stay tuned. For staying with us, and now to the rest of the news. As the Harmattan season brings dry air and an increased risk of fire outbreaks, a safety professional, Joy Amonie Ofori, has warned against storing flammable materials such as cartons in kitchens. In an interview with our correspondent, Ms. Amonie Ofori, a HSE inspector in Bonny, also urged the public not to burn refuse without proper monitoring.
Some persons keep cartons of TV, AC, refrigerators in their kitchen, and these are combustibles. For those cooking with firewood, it's necessary to put it off completely when you're done cooking. Those burning bushes or would want to burn their waste this period, we advise that you don't leave the flame unattended to. Also, you should avoid using candles or lantern near flammable materials, as this could also cause a fire outbreak. Avoid smoking or throwing your smokes in dry bushes.
Now, the HSE inspector also advised Rivers residents to arm themselves with basic knowledge of how to use a fire extinguisher.
People overload their extensions. They use naked wires to, plug into fuses. It's advisable not to overload your electricity, whether Harmattan period or not. If you can, have a fire extinguisher in your homes or your offices and learn how to use the fire extinguishers. Teach your family members how to extinguish a fire. So in the event of a fire emergency, they could actually also act. It's also important for...
Now, recall that over the weekend, a fire outbreak opposite the Igruta market affected about 8 lock-up shops as goods worth millions of naira were destroyed. Eyewitnesses said it took the efforts of some patriotic citizens to put out the fire. It's 2 weeks to Christmas, and some residents of Port Harcourt say they are unable to buy the same quantity of food items that a certain amount of money could get them in the past. In an interview with our correspondent, these residents expressed frustration over the rising cost of essential food items. Now, they also pleaded with the government to regulate market prices.
Things don't spoil. The onions, 300 naira. See, onions. Already you can see with your eyes that the country is very bad.
It's too much. Things are too expensive. You will carry money enter market, hoping that the money you carry come go let you buy something. You go just look your bag, they look the money where you carry come enter market. You go look whether you lost money or you don't overpay. If I carry 10,000 enter market, sack bag go full. But now carry 20,000 enter market, sack bag no go have. If them go regulate market price, at least the ones price will not say yes. The market is now regulated.
Well, some traders who spoke to our correspondent said patronage is reducing.
Festival now. Market is going on now. Yes, everybody's buying, like tomato, people where they do occasion.
So in terms of the patronage, some persons are actually meeting up to buy, while some cannot afford it. Because if you look at the price that custard of rice is being sold now, definitely when things are high in market to an extent, it affects the sales.
Yeah. The number of customers, the rate of customers patronizing us got lesser from like 2 months ago or 3 months.
A survey at the Mile 3 market by our correspondent shows fluctuating food prices as the cost of some items increased while others reduced. Now, the price of a 100 kg bag of butter beans has reduced from nearly 250,000 naira to between 185,000 and 180,000 naira. Similarly, a 100 kg bag of Potasco beans has dropped from 200,000 naira to between 145,000 naira and 140,000 naira, with a custard rubber at between 7,000 naira and 7,500 naira. But the cost of a 50 kg bag of Nigerian stone-free rice has now increased from about 65,000 naira to 105,000 naira, depending on the brand, with a custard rubber selling between 8,500 and 7,500 naira. Also, a custard rubber of dried pepper has increased from around 12,000 naira to about 14,000 naira, while a custard rubber of fresh tomatoes has reduced from about 9,500 naira and 8,000 naira to around 6,000 naira and 4,000 naira. A 5-litre gallon of groundnut oil has increased from 18,500 naira to between 21,000 naira and 22,000 naira. Now, a 1 litre has also increased from 2,800 naira to between 4,000 naira and 4,500 naira. For live birds, the price of an old layer ranges between 8,000 naira and 8,500 naira, while the price of a broiler ranges between 10,000 naira and 10,500 naira. We'll go on another commercial break and then the news continues. Just stay tuned. Gathered outside Saidnaya prison in Damascus amid crowds of inmates in hidden underground cells. Online images show desperate families while investigators search for the alleged cells. Now, thousands of Syrians are thought to have disappeared under former President Bashar al-Assad's regime, which was toppled by rebels over the weekend. Now, Mr. Assad has reportedly fled to Russia for asylum. Well, that's the news this evening, but before we go, let's take a look at the highlights. The Rivers State Police Command has warned residents against night travel along the Elele, Omerelu and Isiokpo Elele roads. Governor Siminala Ifubara has pledged to support institutions in the state. Human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi has been granted a 50 million naira bail, and Rivers residents have expressed frustration at soaring food prices 2 weeks to Christmas. On the foreign scene, crowds have gathered at the notorious Damascus prison as Syrians search for missing inmates. But that was the news. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Constance Irele Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.